Hello. Well, I am so excited to be here for the first one-on-one Matcha with me. I'm excited about this series. You know, depending on your inflection, it can be Matcha with me, Matcha with me. I have my drink right here. I could not wait until noon Eastern time. I have been sipping on it since like 5 this morning. So grab your drink of whatever you want to drink today. I realize that this is Thursday at noon, and as I was thinking of different time zones, it's like 9 a.m. on the West Coast. So I imagine not too many people will be here today at this time. I have I didn't curate. I asked for questions from other people on Instagram. So I do have some questions in case everybody catches the replay here. And I do expect moving forward to host these Matcha with me Q&As and other discussions probably on the last Saturday of every month. Because it'll be a Saturday, it'll be easier. You can actually enjoy your coffee, your matcha, your drink of choice with me on a Saturday at a normal time. So I still think I like noon. Comment below if there's a better time. I think we're all going to agree on Saturdays being better. I, per usual, have my notes here because for any of you who do watch me regularly on Instagram and on YouTube, I could talk forever. In human design, I am a self-projected projector, so I can certainly go on some tangents. And so I have notes here. That's why you'll catch me looking down. You'll catch me looking at my other screen to keep us focused, keep us on task so that you actually get some valuable information from this session. So I have it a little bit structured. It's not going to be a bunch of rambling. I'm going to give you all some updates that are fun. If you're interested in me and elemental clarity, I'm going to give you some updates on all of that, how things are going. Then we're going to talk about some Feng Shui insights. I'm going to give you a Feng Shui insight that has really come up a lot, and I've been sharing with people individually. And I thought if this many people are talking to me one-on-one about it, I want to share it with everybody else. Then we are going to go into the Q&A. So that gives some people some time to catch on, to type in comments, or if nobody shows up for the live, that's okay. I will do the questions that I got from Instagram. And then at the end, I have a fun game. At the end, I have a fun game that, again, follow me on Instagram if you do not, because every Sunday I put up polls. There's no fun name for the polls. It's just kind of this or that. And then we look at which room people liked better, which piece of decor people liked better. And it's fun to see, you know, the polarizing opinions on something exciting and something fun like interior design or the elements. And then I usually critique them and say, you know, this decor situation would be great in a house that had this Feng Shui energy. So we're going to play a really fun game at the end. So stick with me until the end. So let's get into announcements. How do you guys like this setup? I'm using StreamYard. So I have all these different screens and there's so much to look at. Okay. So I mentioned that, yeah, I'm looking at doing the last Saturday of every month. And the reason that I didn't do the last Saturday of this month, let me get this going. The reason I didn't do the last Saturday of this month is because we will be wrapping up our February meditation mastery. And it has been going so well. So as a little reminder, I decided to put together a group on Telegram for February, and every day in February in the morning or sometimes in the evening, I send a meditation. I really want to encourage people to meditate. There's no selling. There was no upselling. It's all free. I just really wanted to help people along the path of meditating more, getting into that practice. Meditating is so important. I already talked about it enough when I was encouraging people to get into the group, and I'm so excited. I got this message, or the group got this message a few days ago. You've chosen good meditations throughout this program, and they've been what I needed, whether it was hard or easy to get through. Today's meditation helped me connect to a way I thought I'd lost in myself, but found again through this meditation. I feel so much lighter, and I got back that connected feeling. And let me tell you, I love positive feedback. I love quizzes and finding out about myself. I love all modalities that help you learn more about yourself. One of those being love language. I'm words of affirmation all the way. So these compliments about YouTube videos, compliments about the group where we're just in this little, it's a really great little community group chat because nobody actually is like talking too much. We're just all there with a purpose to meditate. Because, sometimes those groups get really annoying when everybody starts talking about all these different things, but it's really just one focused, wonderful goal, and people are seeing progress, and that makes me so happy. So anyway, Saturday, there will be one last meditation. You've noticed that I've been posting meditations on the 4 Saturdays of February, and that's been for that meditation group. So that will be ending, and Matcha With Me lives will start to happen on the last Saturday of every month. That's the plan, I think. So what's next? Yes. Next is, for those of you who are kind of new to this channel or new to my Instagram page, you might be like, what is her background? So luckily I have this background here that is just a nice, simple paint color, but it's funny. For any of those of you who don't know, I moved into my grandmother's home a few months ago. And so if you catch me on some of these platforms and you see funky wallpaper and funky like 50s, 70s, I don't even know what era, but really floral, crazy decor in the background, you might be thinking, what kind of feng shui is that? Her space looks so weird and not modern. First of all, feng shui does not discriminate against whether or not your home is pretty or stereotypically pretty or not. Feng shui doesn't care. But that being said, I do also like to help with design things. And so it's important for me to show my taste and to show my decor style. And so it is funny. I do think about the wallpaper a lot, but I love it. And this house is great. And believe it or not, I have not actually finessed the actual feng shui of this home yet. So I moved in and I made this note to mention this. So I'm going to try and film along the way as I upgrade, but I hope that it's a little bit of a reassurance that you find out I've been here a few months and I haven't even fully feng shuied yet. So the biggest thing you can look at first, if you don't have time to fully paint, take down the wallpaper, maybe your home needs some walls knocking down, if you can't fully optimize your feng shui all at once, that's okay. What you look at first is, where are the rooms I can use? Where's the energy that's most beneficial to me, earning money, making money, to my relationships, so that I can attract maybe the right relationships to get a good deal on certain decor, or attract the money to raise money to update my home and upgrade my home. So moving in, the first thing I did, because business is important, helping you all is important, growing this audience is important, I feng shuied my office. And that's what I made a video, and you can see how I redid my desk, rearranged my desk, and you can watch that process there. The second thing I believe that's going to come up, and so I'm using money energy, and I talk about that in this video, like how can you arrange your space to use the money energy. And that was, priority for me moving in here. The second area I think I'm going to upgrade is where it's best to film. So there's also an energy that's very good for conversations, for chatting, for using your voice, and for somebody who works on YouTube or works one-on-one with clients. How can you use that chatty energy to your advantage? So go ahead, and I think I linked this video in the description. If not, I'll add in a little thing that comes across the top here later. But yeah, so I will take you guys on the ride with me when I upgrade that next space with the chatty energy. Then yeah, and then, okay, so this leads me, this might not be an hour long. When I get really excited and there's not a lot of back and forth, I talk really quickly. I do want to mention, speaking of talking back and forth, Matcha with Me is last Saturday of every month, I'm assuming. Sometimes it'll be these Q&As. Sometimes I am going to bring in other people. You guys responded really well to me and Chipro Sam's banter and talking about Chinese New Year. And I'm glad you guys liked that one so much. And I hope you got a lot of value from it. I hope you saw some results from it. And I want any conversation I have with someone to be relevant to you guys, to actually help you. There's, with so many podcasts, with so many channels, with so many options of people to listen to, I really want it to be somebody that I think is effective, somebody I think I will like long term. I've actually been burned by somebody like really wanting to collaborate and it not going well. Has that ever happened to you? You're really excited about the new potential of a new partnership and you get very excited and then it just, like, you guys don't talk anymore, or you do the work for them and then you don't hear from them again. I don't want any of that. I want it to be somebody I know is going to be of long-term help to you guys and actually share really good information. We don't need any endless random chatter that doesn't help us move forward. So I do plan, speaking of back and forth banter, I do plan to make some of these Matcha with me's a interview style conversation to bring in other experts about things that I'm not an expert on. So a little bit other layers of that can pair well with Feng Shui. So, like I said, this leads me into, speaking of not totally finessing my Feng Shui just yet, I have been working on just looking for the money energy. This is not what I thought my next slide was going to be. So I had to pause there and think about, what is the point of this next slide? This leads me to, speaking of working with my money energy, this leads me to my next Feng Shui insight. Did you know that there are different types of Feng Shui? Did you know that there are different schools and different types of Feng Shui? So when I talked about my office and using money energy, using voice energy, did you know that there's a couple different types? More than a couple different types. Well, there are. The types that you are probably likely most familiar with when you're Googling Feng Shui tips, Feng Shui advice, is this BTB Feng Shui. It is just the easiest, most accessible one, like right off the bat, to start applying to your home. Then there's classical Feng Shui, there's forms Feng Shui, there's 8-mansion, there's so many more types of Feng Shui. When I'm talking about using money energy, I'm talking about using this one. So I practice classical Feng Shui using the flying star technique, and based on time, when the home was built, form of the home, form of the exterior of the home, and the direction the home is facing, these numbers are calculated and then they tell me a story. If you do follow me on Instagram, you'll see certain posts that talk about and explain the 9 different types of energy. So there's 9 numbers. They each are paired with an element. They're each paired with a body part, an emotion, a person in the family, a yin and a yang side. There's so many characteristics. So, you know, this is not my home, but if I were to look in the office, I would want to look for, well, first I would look in the home and I'd look for the 9 or the 8. Those are money-making, auspicious energies. And I would be looking for, how can I work with the 8 or the 9? So to clarify for any of you who are a little bit newer and you're like, what is she talking about? That is the type of Feng Shui I'm describing. It's not so much about, oh, there's a car horn. So sorry. Hopefully you guys can't hear it through my headphones. That's why I wore these things today. So it's so much more than just decorating your office to look really pretty and to bring in money. It's much more about using and activating the energy with your energy. So there you go. That's what I'm referring to. you can, so then if you want to get even more specific with your feng shui, maybe you don't know over here, maybe you don't know your whole home's feng shui, you don't know this calculation, you can't really work in fitting with somebody one-on-one, that's all right. Here are some other things that you can do in the meantime. I do share with you, so no feng shui solutions are one size fits all. It's very specific to your home. But to help mediate that, because I want everybody to be using feng shui, because it's just this wonderful tool that helps us use the energy to our advantage. It helps, why not use all of this free energy around us to help ourselves feel better, to get closer to living our dream lives, right? So the way I help make this easier, or gifts I try to share to make it everything accessible if you can't work one-on-one with me, is you can use the monthly feng shui. I send out those monthly forecasts here on YouTube. I look at the energies here. The monthly energy does come to everybody's home. The same monthly energy comes to each direction for everyone. The yearly energy is the same for everyone. So that is something that we can activate, use, or mitigate in our space. And then you can also get even more personalized with something I just created. I'm so excited. It took quite a bit. Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions. It's a self-guided, personalized mini course for you that you can apply to your home if maybe a one-on-one consult is just not the next step for you. This is looking at your specific lucky directions to you. So when you were born and where are they in your house? I run through the Bagwa map with you. I'm looking at my notes again because I'm sure I'm going to butcher everything that's in there, but I walk with you on how to create a Bagwa map of your home. A Bagwa map is this. I help you apply it over your space. I help you calculate where your lucky directions are. Are you working in your lucky success direction? Are you working or using your lucky health, relationship, or self-confidence direction? These are all things that we can tap into without renovations, without spending a lot of money. It's just working with the energy of your space to support you, to help you feel better, to improve areas of your life that you're looking to improve. So ways that you can look at the feng shui of your space that are personal to you. You can work with the monthly forecasts, or you can check out this link, for sure is in the description of this video. You can check out this self-guided mini course. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. Because I don't know what's next. Okay. I did not have this presentation memorized. So moving on to more feng shui insights. So we talked about there's different types of feng shui schools. I also really wanted to address this one. Before I get into this, there's been a very, like I mentioned, that a lot of people have been talking to me one-on-one about something that's a very similar theme. And when I see this little theme, it means that a lot of people are having this question. It's on a lot of people's minds. And that's if you guys have heard of the law of oneness. We're all connected. So if you feel overwhelmed, sometimes you're just picking up on other people's energy. If you feel a little bit more fearful, a little bit more nervous 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, then sometimes you're just picking up on other people's energy. So a popular question that came up, and it been coming up in my DMs, about how to not mess things up. So a big popular question: how many of you have been bombarded with fear-based marketing, or maybe you felt out of control more recently and you don't know why? I really want you to look at, what is it you've been clicking on? What have you been clicking on? If you're feeling out of control, if you're feeling like there's certain voices in your head that you've just never had before, and you're like, why? Nothing in my life has changed. Look at what you're clicking on. And here, and then I wrote down, I saw 2 blue jays when I was writing this. So it's obviously a message that needs to be shared. And then I got this comment on one of my videos. And like I said, people are really concerned about doing energy wrong. So let's read this comment. I'm so grateful for this person. We had a very nice discussion in the comments. They said, "Hi, this was a very helpful video. So firstly, thank you very much. I just wanted to see if you could dispel some concerns I had after reading a particular article. It basically said that if you DIY your own home feng shui, this video that this person's reading is how to overlay your Bagwa map by hand, which I share with you how to do in Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions. So this is a DIY video. It basically said that if you DIY your own home feng shui and get it even slightly wrong, that it will not only wreak havoc on your life, but it is irreversible. Once it's done, it's done. Is that possibly true? And if any of it is, what tips do you have about any of that?" I am so motivated by sharing joy, sharing empowerment, help reminding people that they are the ruler of their own life, that they are the ruler of, they are in control of their own life. You create your reality. Okay. So when I see, and there's been so much of this fear-based marketing recently, because guess what? Everybody needs money. So if you're online a lot, all these online salespeople are going to use, it's a saturated market. They're going to be using these big, crazy words like wreak havoc on your life to get you to click on their thing because you think they have a solution. So I first of all want to clear this up to everyone who's not going to see it in the comments. If you DIY your own home feng shui and even get it slightly wrong, it is not going to wreak havoc on your life. I promise you. I personally started DIYing my own feng shui 9 years ago. So I was looking at Radhika Chi's articles. I was watching YouTube things, reading blogs. I was DIYing it. If you watch the video, you'll see my DIY compass even. Surely some of these degrees are off. Surely it's a little bit off. Surely I did not have it exactly accurate. And so I don't want you guys to think that trying is ever going to blow up. What this person was probably saying is that classical feng shui, all those numbers you saw, it is based on your house. It is based on some math. It is based astrologically, but not everybody knows that layer. Start with the basics. There's no reason to worry about all the fancy advanced stuff until you can. I did the basics from Google, from articles for years, and it got me a lot of progress. So this is why I have my notes, because I don't want to get away from my point. What they're saying is likely that if you don't know like the calculations, the energy of your home, you can mess up. You can be using more difficult energy than like the money auspicious energy. But in the end, nothing is permanent. First of all, it wouldn't be irreversible because you could always move. You could always change your job. You could always change who you're living with. So nothing in life is permanent. Nothing can wreak so much havoc that it's irreversible. You can overcome anything. You can change your life whenever you decide to make that change. So I'm very thankful for this comment, and it just reminds me and motivates me to make feng shui accessible, to bring this to you guys and show you that it's such a fun, easy, it's a fun tool. How many personal development tools are a little bit like breath work? Ooh, you're crying, you're screaming, or therapy, right? Like, oh my goodness, like those are difficult. Feng shui is so fun. Feng shui is like you get to talk about your space, you get to interact with your space. Maybe I'm a little biased because I like design, but feng shui is a really fun self-development tool and a really fun energy tool to use to advance in your life's journey. So do not worry about getting it wrong. If you have any questions along the way, that is why I'm going to host these monthly events, these monthly Matcha With Me's. And so you can ask some Q&A questions. You can ask your questions to finesse your feng shui. And that's my notes for this. Let's move on to the Q&A. I do see some questions coming in. I've seen some people pop on and off. Let me make sure I've covered this. Yeah, to finish this off, to wrap it all up, that's kind of why I was saying, do not, or that's why I mentioned I didn't move in here. And before anything Feng Shui, I did look at it. I did look at energies. I did put the boxes, have the movers put the boxes in the rooms that I was assuming I'd sleep in, assuming I'd work in. But I then redid this whole office. I did rearrange all of it. The bedroom will be getting rearranged. The kitchen totally getting rearranged to work with the energies in that space. So if this were the case, Feng Shui is always happening. Energy around you is always happening. So you trying to DIY it, you trying to make an effort to make an improvement on your life, the universe, God, whoever you believe in, is always going to reward you for taking action, for thinking positive, and for, taking action to improve your life. So you will maybe see some hiccups and say, oh, that didn't work. And, oh, that water feature there seemed to not help. It actually made me trip more or make a few more mistakes. But then you just readjust. So nothing is irreversible. Wreak havoc is strong language that is unnecessary. And Feng Shui is always happening whether you're DIYing it or not. So you might as well figure out how to use it. And sometimes that starts with you DIYing it yourself. So let's get into the Q&A. I'm going to take a sip of this because that's what we're here for, right? Getting into the Q&A. Let's look at these comments. Oh, how nice. I'm going to test out this feature. I'm new, but you seem great. Well, thank you so much. That's so nice. And we have some nice smiles here. Oh my gosh. Well, now I love this feature. I'm kind of new to StreamYard, right? Believe it or not, guys, when I started this business, talk about overcoming fear and perseverance. When I started this business, I was applying to podcasts to be interviewed, to try and get this out. I wasn't even on YouTube yet. And I started recording with this woman. She was like, great, I want you on my podcast. Let's talk. I was so nervous. I was like blacking out in my head. My heart was racing. She'd ask me a question, and no joke, it's like you see in the movies where it's just like everything was black, ears are ringing. I did not know what was coming out of my mouth. Thank God it wasn't alive. Thank God she was recording. I had to ask her 2 times, hey, can we pause this? Like, I need to regroup. And we never ended up finishing the podcast, and it was a total fail. It was a total flop. Even though I was in my best Feng Shui direction for chatting, for recording a podcast, even though everything was on point, it was an auspicious day. So much of our energy, our mindset, our practice, our taking action is important to the Feng Shui. We can have all the money energy around us, but if we don't have a job, it's going to be harder to make windfalls of money. So, fun fact, I really love your compliments because that's so nice, because, oh my gosh, I just think about that every time I come on. Wow, Jeanette, the progress you have made from basically blacking out on a podcast recording to going live casually, frequently. Okay, so Q&A, it was all just nice comments, no questions in the chat box. So this is exactly why I talk to people on Instagram first to get some questions. So the first question we have, this one was great. Let me make it a little bigger for you. Some people have told me I have too many doors. Some people have said I have too many windows. Can you have too many doors and windows causing bad Feng Shui? Again, this is so wonderful and on theme. Notice how everything on theme happens in the same week, right? Because we're all connected. So this is perfect for the theme of everybody worried about if their Feng Shui is good or bad, if they're doing it right or wrong, if they're going to mess it up, wreak havoc on their life, and it's irreversible, like some article told that person, which, again, shame on them. So anyway, this is Feng Shui to clear things up. If you are reading, if you are teaching yourself, if you are sharing, if you are reading books and teaching yourself how to Feng Shui, you're going to get conflicting opinions. First of all, I mentioned a couple slides back, right, that there's different types of Feng Shui schools. It's not that some are bad or worse. It depends on how you apply the different tools, how you apply the different information. Um, there's certain people that are biased, there's certain people that are more skilled in one or the other. I personally started with BTB. Like I mentioned, I started DIY teaching myself, and then I went into classical feng shui because I've just seen so many more long-term sustainable results because it's so much more specific. And I like specific. I like to do things efficiently and correctly, and I like to do things personalized to me in my home, right? So it's just it's quicker results because it's specific to you. But like I said, I saw plenty of results with BTB. It's how I got into finding the right teacher to work with. So you're always going to hear conflicting opinions, just like this person. Some people told her there was too many doors, too many windows, but how could that be? If you look back, if you think back to the slide I showed where the different energies come in, there aren't necessarily, you can't necessarily have too many doors, too many windows. Windows and doors are what bring in the doors. Our front doors are mouth of chi. Windows is where more energy comes in. And so usually that's very ideal because you want a lot of energy to be working with. It's all different kinds of energy that helps us see fast change and evolution in our life. So then what you look at is, well, what energy is coming in those windows? What energy is coming in those doors? Let me see if it's easy for me to go back to that Boggle map. So here, depending on where the doors and windows are, some of these numbers are easier, better, more auspicious to work with, and some of them are just a little more difficult. You can work with all of them. So a lot of windows, a lot of doors, short and simple answer. It just depends. It depends on what energy is coming into your space. And actually, even if, so 5 is our most difficult, if 5's coming in a window and or like the front door, it's actually pretty great that you do have a lot of different ways to get in and out of your house, or a lot of different ways to move energy so that we can kind of ignore the 5, right? So to answer that person's question, get back to it. It's not causing bad feng shui because feng shui, technically, the energy in your environment is determined by when your home was built, the direction it's facing. And so it has nothing to do with how many doors or windows you have. So that's my answer to that. I will get to these questions that are coming into the chat. Let me go ahead and finish with these slides, because actually one of the questions in the chat is also one of these slides. So how to boost the husband area was the second question. Let me take another sip of this so I can collect my thoughts. Comment below. Do you have a lot of doors, windows? Do you like matcha? Or are you a big coffee person? I can't believe I've ever gotten off coffee. I really can't. Okay, talk about overcoming things. Okay, so the second question here, how to boost the husband area in the house. Let me see if I added a picture. I think I did. Yeah, okay. How to boost the husband area in the house. Husband, spouse, partner, romantic partner. This is possible. You can do it. Again, we look at the energy in the space. So I think if we look at the BTB chart, what they will tell you, what BTB practitioners will tell you, is it's the southwest that is the love and relationships corner. Don't quote me on that. Look at my previous slides. And so they'll tell you to add certain objects in there. That is one way to do it. Another way to boost the husband area in your house, the partner relationship, the love, is to use your lucky love feng shui direction. So again, in that program, it's not even a program, in that quick mini guided course, it's 9 modules. You could complete it in a day. It's $55. It's specific to you. It helps you find where your lucky love, your lucky relationship direction is in your home. That way, so it's specific to you. This is specific to your love area. So BTB is everybody's love areas in the Southwest. This program, Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions, tells you where yours is specifically, so you can boost that area that is specific to you. So you can enhance it with the proper items, enhance it with the proper element, enhance it with your intentions, which kind of leads me into what are some things that you can do. So you can look at that program. I really recommend it. Obviously, I created it, but I created it because of my whole everything I went through. So like I said, I was self-teaching myself all of this stuff for like 7 of these 9 years, or more like half and half, more like 5 and 5, 6 and 4, 6 and 5, 6 and 3. Anyway. And I remember how difficult it was to teach myself Feng Shui, to have all these questions. Like there was not enough hours in the day to be like, well, and then you start going down a rabbit hole of, okay, but this person said this person said this. Trust me, I know the confusion. I understand how complicated it can be. I can understand that one of these questions, what about living with roommates? What about living in an apartment? What about sharing your space? That is exactly where I was. I was in a dorm room with an apartment in college with 3 other women. Then I was in my parents' home right after college. And then I was back in an apartment. And then at some point, somebody was living with me. So I have done it all. And the way I've condensed it with this Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions is I've just given you what you need to know. You're not going to waste time reading all the books or all the confusion. I've given you what you need to know, so you know exactly how to apply it to boost your lucky directions. So if there are other people in the home, it doesn't matter. They're going to have other lucky directions. Roommates are going to have other lucky directions. How can you support you specifically? To answer this question and kind of this question, yes, it can be very complicated. And honestly, the more you learn about Feng Shui, the more complicated it gets. So I would pick like 1 or 2 teachers that you really like, a system that you have results with, and just stick to that. And Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions is a beautiful combination of just, like I said, what you need to know. I don't get into the different schools. I don't make it overly complicated. You just need to know like where your lucky direction is, the intention, the way to activate it, the item you can enhance it with. Maybe you can't work in your lucky wealth area, but how do you enhance it if you can't work in it, right? So I answer all those questions because also, speaking of human design, I am a very analytical mind. So you will not have any questions that I didn't have. Okay, to get back to this, how to boost the husband area in the house. So I said support the Southeast, and I also want to add to this. So these are the annual energies coming in for 2022. This is called a Lo Shu. And again, these 9 energies represent so many different things, so many different elements. And there's a love, romance energy. There's kind of 2, and they're twofold. 7, so I say support the Southeast. You can also support the West. 7 is a metal energy. It is love. It's romance. It's kind of lusty. It's kind of fast love that you will want to support with some other areas in your home. But it is love. It is flirtatiousness. So to support this in the West, what supports metal is earth. So you can add some earth into the West area. You can also add in the West, or like I said, the Southeast is a little bit more of it's a romance. It's a little bit more of a relationship love. Now, husband specifically, getting a partner specifically, we got to get into your home. We got to look at where your lucky directions are. We got to look into some of your birth chart data. So again, I recommend that program, that quick, fun video series, I should say. And you can look at both of these, and in either one of them, Southeast or West, place with intention, like the power couple you're hoping that you admire, or a relationship that you admire, a couple you're impressed by, or write down your list. I'm sure you guys have heard of scripting. Write down your list of what this ideal partner is like, and place that script, in like a nice little red envelope and place it in the southeast area of all your intentions, and then set it and forget it. If you guys watched my video, how to set an intention that actually manifests, this is I'm going to give it away. The biggest thing is not to beg. Go watch the video. I get more nuanced, but the biggest thing when setting an intention is you don't beg. So when you write down the script of what you want, you put it in a nice envelope, you set your intention, you set it and forget it. And you're not like, oh, please, 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 I hope it happens. If it doesn't happen, if I don't find a husband this week, this month, this year, I'll never find anybody. I'll be 35 and I won't be ripe for the picking anymore, or whatever goes through people's heads. No, set it and forget it. But know with confidence that you are co-creating with the universe, with God, with whoever you believe in, with whatever Feng Shui energies you're working with. You're co-creating. So if you want it, it can happen. Again, another reason I mentioned all that fear-based marketing. Your life is, how your life turns out is based on you and your actions and your attitude. So I will always be the person empowering and telling you guys how great you are and reminding you that you have full control over your lives. So to get the husband, to get the wife, to get the partner, set your intention, boost the west, boost the southeast, red envelope with the intention, with the scripting, that would be southeast, place that there. Earth element in the west. Water, you could also add in some water. So southeast, red envelopes are lucky. This is where it gets complicated, right? Fire is lucky. It's auspicious. Red envelopes are lucky. But water supports wood. And the reason I mentioned water here is because this is the wood element. And so water boosts that. Actually, February, this chart's from February. February is a very love month. I have a video. I created a video. I did link that in the description here as well. How to Feng Shui for love. I did a Valentine's Day special. I'm never that far ahead of it when it comes to content. But I made it before Valentine's Day. So you guys can watch that. And then in 2 weeks, I believe, I'm doing a second video, how to Feng Shui for love, starting with your bedroom. So whether you are looking to attract a partner, whether you are looking to already like spice up a relationship that you already have, that video is also coming out very soon. So, and then, vision board. Vision board, like I said, in either of these areas, it doesn't have to be a full vision board, but who's like a couple that you admire? I personally love Sarah Blakely's relationship. I think it's so great. Tony Robbins and Sage are cute. Will Smith and Jada, everybody loves them, right? So think of a power couple that you really like, that you're impressed by, that you then start envisioning your life fitting in that way, not into the relationship, but your life starting to look as if it's like theirs, right? As if you're feeling what that love is like, that you're attracting in. And so much of this, that's this third bullet point. You know, I have these notes, I have these outlines, I have these bullet points, and I still just start talking. To wrap it up on this question, your energy is so important. I kind of drove that home, but if you want to attract love, you need to portray love. You need to be love. And sometimes that can be really hard when you feel lonely. Sometimes that can be very hard when you're just not a big fan of the people that you're surrounded by. And it's still your responsibility, though, to figure out your thing. What makes you feel good? Feng Shui for your lucky directions. I tell you how to boost your self-confidence area. I tell you how to boost your love area and relationships area. So you do bring in more friends that help you feel good, that maybe are the people that connect you to your significant other, that introduce you on a blind date. But your energy and your positivity is the ultimate ingredient when you're adding it with all of this Feng Shui stuff. So it will be, I got to mention it every time. Okay, Q&A. Let's look at some of the chat, and then is Feng Shui applicable to how to handle living with roommates? That's the next question. What about plants in your bedroom? That's a video coming up or near your bed. Is Feng Shui only applicable to our homes? No. Okay, these are all really great questions. So let me go ahead and answer this last one on here so we have a pretty slide to look at. And okay, so this question is, what if you only can see one configuration for your home, i.e. small, etc., but feel it is off? I'm going to pair this with the question about roommates. Again, small apartment. I've been there. That little Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions course is going to help you out. I've Feng Shuied dorm rooms. I've Feng Shuied apartments. I have Feng Shuied people's homes when they were still living with their parents because they could not get a job. I've helped people get jobs within 1 month of Feng Shuiing and applying and drastically improving their pay raise. It is all possible. And for that, I mentioned the job living with the parents client because they were just in a room in the basement. So energy is all in the home. Nobody in the home needs to know what you're doing. So your roommates don't need to know, like why you apply to jobs in certain areas, why you have your coffee in certain areas. Now, if they are people that ask a lot of questions, that's on you to divulge as much as you want. You can do one room. So that Bagwa map that I showed you, I go through in Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions, or I have a video how to overlay your Bagwa map to your home. You can shrink that to just your room in the house, just your portion. Maybe you live in the garage. Maybe you live in a carriage house. Maybe you live in the attic. You can shrink that Bagwa map over that specific room that you're in and work with the energies the same way, and you just use different segments of your room and of your space. So if that's what you were asking with how to handle living with roommates, you just don't really tell them. I do mention actually in that Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions, specifically in the love direction, I remember saying, if you have your power couple and you want to hang them up in the southeast, but you don't want all of your roommates to know what your power couple looks like or what it is, I do give solutions to if you have roommates and how you can kind of discreetly place your intentions and place your cures out and about. So what if you can only see one configuration in your home? I find it hard to believe that there is no other way. So a little bit of that could be my spatial organization, arrangement, design background. There's always a solution. What's your resourcefulness like? There's always a solution to small spaces. Here's the other thing. Maybe there really is only one configuration. You can't move the bed. Like for a 1-bedroom apartment even, it's not even that small of a space, but the bedroom is the bedroom, and there's usually a very obvious wall that your bed goes on. If that is the arrangement, you can't move the kitchen, right? And then like the couch isn't the best way. Okay. The configuration is what it is. This is why I love classical Feng Shui. This is why I love knowing where the energies are. Because if you are working from your laptop, then you can move chairs around and you can just use the energy. So yes, to Feng Shui, there is a layer of spatial arrangement. There's a layer of where's the power position? Are you sitting in the power position? Is there good flow through your space? But then there's this other layer of simply using the energy that's coming to your space. I need a sip real quick. So in that slide where we saw the 9 energy, the 8 energy, that's money making energy, right? Well, maybe that's in your bedroom and you can't put your desk there because you shouldn't combine desk and working too often, but maybe there's some important papers you need to submit. Maybe there's jobs you need to apply for. You can move in there temporarily for the day and you can use that energy. You can also still work in your office, but you can open that bedroom window where that money energy comes in. So Feng Shui is so much more about using the energy and not, is my decor on point? Is my arrangement on point? It's so much more about looking at where the influences from our environment are and supporting it with the right actions. Again, which is why I created Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions. Nobody was asking for it because nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows that that's the solution to so much of these configuration problems. That program will help you find, doesn't matter the spatial arrangement, it'll help you find your lucky success direction and how do you use the influences from that energy to boost whatever it is you need to boost. Again, self-confidence, relationships, money goes into it. So if you can only see one small configuration, totally fine. Look at the course, look at the Feng Shui annual energy, look at the monthly forecasts, look at what energy is coming in from the windows I do have, what energy is coming in from the doors I do have, and how can I work with what's in the space. What about, so we answered, thank you for your questions. We answered how to handle living with roommates. What about plants in your bedroom near your bed? Thank you so much for your question. Okay. I do have another video coming out about plants in your bedroom. Plants in your bedroom is a tricky one. This is one that you probably hear conflicting opinions about all the time. My solution to this is first look at your personal energy number. When you find out your personal energy number, you also find out what your element is. That link, it's free. I made a free guide. That link is in the description of this video. Go there and find out, are you personal energy number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, or 9? Depending on that, it'll tell you your element. So I am an earth personal energy number. Plants in the bedroom, if you think of the elemental cycle, it goes fire, earth, metal, water, wood. Earth and wood don't like each other. So for me, plants in the bedroom, I just already don't like it. I can tell when I sleep I don't like it. And so plants in the bedroom, not a good solution for me. If you have a fire element personal energy number 9, that's usually people who can handle plants better. If you're 3 or 4, usually you can handle plants a little bit better. In general, plants in the bedroom, again, thank you so much for your question. I am somebody who says no. I am somebody, so again, you're going to hear conflicting opinions because Feng Shui, there's so many different types of schools. Every time somebody comes to me and wants to improve their sleep, they usually have a mirror facing their bed. Remove that. And they usually have some plants, dead plants, dying plants, or really viney plants in their bedroom. And then they'll say, oh, Jeanette, but I love plants. I love them. They make me feel good. They put a smile on my face. Well, when you're sleeping, like, you don't need that, right? We're not trying to uplift. We're trying to zen out. We're trying to recollect ourselves, recollect our energy. And so to me, plants in the bedroom are visually cluttering and our brain doesn't really calm down. There's a lot of them producing energy and they are rejuvenating and they do cleanse our space. And so that's nice that they purify the air, but they also are creating energy. And that's hard for us to zen out and calm down and go to sleep, right? So I typically say no plants in the bedroom. Test it out. You can also remove it. That's the other thing I mentioned in this video. It's coming up in the Feng Shui for love in your bedroom, where I talk about plants. I talk about dried flowers. I talk about all of that. And, oh, I forgot my point, but I remembered it. Plants in your bedroom, the people who love plants, like, love them. They're always like, Jeanette, oh my gosh, like, how dare you say this? I can't. I want a jungle oasis. I have to have plants in my bedroom. But if you're looking to, oh, wrong video. It's in the how to improve your sleep with Feng Shui. It's in that video coming out next week. If you're looking to improve your sleep, if you feel like your bedroom doesn't feel phenomenal, a plant is a good thing to remove. If you like it, go ahead and keep it. I just recommend taking it out, testing it, feel it out for a week. You can always put it back. Okay. Good question. I say this like this. Hello. Happy Thursday to you. All right. So let's wrap it up with the game. I mentioned there would be a game. Here's the game. Yay, games. We are going to play. So these are the polls. Let me make this bigger on your screen. This or that. And then I have some fun Feng Shui advice and insight on these. So comment below. The top will be A, the bottom will be B. On this first one, I guess it'll be self-regulating. We'll just watch the chat. We'll watch the comments to see what people say. Oh, it could be A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3. We'll find a better way to do this, but this is why it's fun to go follow on Instagram, because you can actually vote. And then I'm going to show you who the winners were on Instagram. But in this first one, and then I want to cite them so that I give everybody credit. This first one, the question, which elements spark joy for you? So in this top one, this is by Secrets of a Hostess. This bottom one is by Charleston Interiors. This is more of our wood, floral. Blue is wood in the Feng Shui world, and this is more like earth and metal. So which one are you liking better? Comment in the comment section. Then in our second photo here, let me cite these for you. Coffee bars are best chic or cozy? Which one do you like better? This top picture is by The Tile Club on Instagram. That is who the photo is by. This bottom picture here is by Faith and Farmhouse on Instagram. So coffee bars, are they best chic or cozy? Then the last set here, this top photo, fireplace mantles are for, and this is just personal preference. This is a fun game. There's no right or wrong answer. Fireplace mantles are for top, what did I say? Minimalism or memories. This top one is by Kylie Interiors on Instagram. And this bottom one, you let me know if you know who. I don't remember where I found this and I don't know whose it is, but I will cite if I find out. So thanks for your votes. Okay, let's go look at the results. I like this better. Okay, the winner on Instagram was the bottom one. People are still going with this. A little too busy for some people, potentially. And voted here is A2. Yeah, this is really nice, earthy, natural tones. So my Feng Shui comment or edit on this is, there is no right or wrong. It just depends on you, just depends what you like. But this is, in case you're wondering, more of the wood element. So if you were to look at your kitchen, your dining area, and you saw that the energy in that space was a fire 9, wood would support that. So all of this blue, the flowers would be a wonderful addition to that room to support the energy in that space. This bottom one, like I said, earth, metal tones. So better if the room needs earth and metal tones. But if you like it, ultimately you want to like everything that you put in your space. That you should never do a Feng Shui thing if you don't like it. Personally, I don't like reds. I don't like really bright colors. So whenever there is something that needs red, I actually use purple. Purple is the fire element as well. So I use purple and I use other bright colors that I do enjoy. Red's a big thing in Feng Shui though. So I had to find my way around it. The second one voted here was B1. So chic, that was the winner on Instagram as well. This chic style, that's what I voted for. This chic farmhouse, cozy vibe is still around, still alive and well. This was very close. We actually had, look at all these close ones, 57%, 43%, very close race on all of these. But, oh, this is just so beautiful, isn't it? These are very similar. This is also cream earth tones as well. So personal preference. I didn't do too much of a contrasting one here, did I? So no big lesson, but earth, cream tones, stone. You have these wood accents. And then I like the little pop of pink. So actually, this person didn't even know it. But the designer here, the reason this one feels so good is it is balanced. You have these earth tones. I mentioned earth and wood clash. Adding in a little bit of fire to smooth out that relationship is that this beautiful, soft little pop of color that the space needs to feel whole, right? Beautiful, beautiful. And then our last one, fireplace mantles are meant for minimalism or memories. So many people still went with minimalism. Feng Shui doesn't care if you're a minimalist or a maximalist. It doesn't discriminate. It's your preference. It's all about, is there still room for energy to come in though? So those maximalists do have to watch out for, don't overdo the space because you want to be able to receive the energy. You want it to be able to come in and help you out. But so here again, totally personal preference. This isn't even a maximalist example. It's just what it makes me think of when I see the minimalism. Very pretty. Some comments that you might hear about this is, I'm sure you've read an article if you're hearing contradicting opinions about fire element being by water element and how they clash, right, in that cycle, just like wood and earth clash, fire and water clash. That's where these things can get overcomplicated. I need to take a sip. 1 second. That's where these opinions can get overcomplicated and people start to freak out. They're like, oh my gosh, my sink is water. It's across from my fire oven. That means I have bad feng shui. What am I going to do? It's not so life or death. It's not so right or wrong. There's, first of all, in that one, you can add in certain colors to balance out that space, but it's no reason to go buy a new home. It's no reason to renovate your kitchen. Same with, if you really like a mirror over the fireplace, that's okay. Just one mirror alone and one fireplace alone isn't going to clash so much that it causes disruption in your space. I will say with mirrors, you want to look at what it's magnifying. Is it magnifying problem areas? Is it magnifying bad energy? Problem areas, I mean, like piles of paper, broken things in your home. You want it to be magnifying the beautiful. And then the unseen layer is looking at those energies in your home. How can you magnify the good energy? So again, if we have an 8 coming in the front door, if we have a 9 coming in the front door, and that mirror faces the front door, phenomenal. We're magnifying more of that good energy. So there's so many layers to it. There's never a one size, there's never a perfect home. I think it's impossible to build an exactly perfect feng shui home. You can get close, but it would take a lot of time, a lot of planning, and a lot of money. And who has time for all that? So I don't think I have an end slide. That's my last slide, everybody. Let's look at all the questions have been answered. Wow, look at that. 1 hour and 2 minutes. I did not think I would time this so well. So I hope you enjoyed our game. Catch me over on Instagram every Sunday. I put up those polls, and then I do those every week. So I'll pick out the best, closest, fun ones for when we go live here on YouTube once a month on the last Saturday of every month. So if you have any questions, let me know. Links for everything I was talking about are in the descriptions of this video. Check out Feng Shui for Your Lucky Directions. It is going to save you so much time, so much headache, so much money, because you're not going to go out and spend all these different things that think you need to buy, that an article tells you need to buy. There's no tchotchkes. There's none of that. We're simply repurposing and reusing what's already in your home. And actually, you don't even do too much of that. It's simply using the invisible energy in your space. And it's not so much about decorating or placing objects. It's about using the energy in your space. So great for people who have roommates, great for people who have a small space that can't put in more, can't rearrange the home, or if you're living with your parents because you're in a tough job patch and you don't want the questions and you can't redecorate their home, this tells you how to use all of your lucky directions, all your lucky energy. So it's so great there. And of course, subscribe if you are here. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe so you catch all the other videos. Like it, comment it, share it. And that's all for me. Thank you guys so much for participating, for interacting. I love your questions. Thanks for your kind feedback. It was so great to be here with everybody. And I will see you guys soon.